viewers, you are welcome to the Gifty O Conversation. And today we have an amazing young woman with us. And I'm definitely sure you are going to love this conversation. We have Ann Fesu with us today. Yay! You're welcome, Ann.
Thank you very much, Gifty. It's a pleasure to be here.
Same here. It's been a long while. I think the very last time I met you was 6 years ago. I don't really remember.
Yes,
That was
yes.
2017,
That was about
2016.
Yes, 2016, 17. You're right. Before you ran away and went to pursue your career, you were doing so well. I was really looking out for you a lot. So congratulations.
Thank you. I had to. Yes, but it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. This is like a small reunion for us. So thank you for joining us.
We have to pop champagne.
I know, we have to. All right. Viewers, Ann is a very good friend of mine. She's really inspiring, and she is currently the manager for digital channels at MTN. So you know that we are really going to have a good conversation. And I want to show you something before we start, okay? Let me share my screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see. Wow, those days.
Yes, can you point yourself out for us?
Oh, of course. At the time, I was sporting what you are sporting now with the down cuts.
I know. Yes, so and this is 2017 when the new FESSP girls were brought into Vodafone, right? I think this was their event to award them. Yes, so unfortunately, I wasn't there for this photo.
No, but that time you ran away.
Yes, I know. I was trying to find one with the two of us, but then I couldn't find it. So I said, let me do with this. But wow, it's been a long time. Thank you once again for joining us. Now, Ann, can you please tell us a little bit about your upbringing, growing up? How was it like till you went to the university?
Okay, since we have limited time, so I'll just be brief.
Yes.
Growing up, well, I'm the last born of 5 children. We are 4 girls, and then there's 1 boy in the middle. Wow. And growing up as the last born, I was the one that everyone will send, big siblings and all that. But I realized that I gathered a lot of experience from the people around me, from my parents, my dad especially. He was very much into innovation. He was into, automating tasks was the fastest and the best way to do things. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, my brother and I were both leaning towards the technology side. So I used to engage him a lot. And I must say that I have great people ahead of me that I looked up to go into the path that I'm in now. And so growing up, of course, I became a science student in Achimota School. Whoa. And then from there, I went to Ghana Telecom University, now called Ghana Communications Technology University. Yeah. Actually, that was a mistake, if I should say. Going to that school was a mistake. Yes, because I had planned to do ophthalmology in tech in KNUST. That was my goal because I felt like I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't want to do, all the blood things. So I felt like that was the next thing. Mm-hmm. But I would also say that maybe because as science students or as children growing up, we didn't have a lot of knowledge about the different career choices that were available and what you could actually do. So it just seems like, okay, as a science student, you just go into medicine or you become a doctor. Yeah. I had a very interesting experience with my WASI. For some reason, when everybody in the whole school had their results, mine was pending.
Whoa.
And I don't know why. It was really scary for me. I remember I went to WAEC. They're asking me, "Oh, why did you cheat on your exam?" I'm like, "No, the person in front of me and the person behind me, they both have their results. So how come I don't have mine?" So it took some months before mine finally came out. But at the time, there was the 4 year, 3 year, and then there was a lot of people going to school and all that. So by that time, I had lost the slot to go into tech.
Wow.
Luckily, my second choice was telecom engineering. And when we went to Kumasi, I remember my father and I, we flew to Kumasi just looking for a solution for the problem because it was such a peculiar situation.
Yeah.
And then one of the lecturers there, I don't remember the name, but he mentioned that, okay, since my second choice is telecom engineering, why don't I go to Ghana Telecom and then pursue that course? So gradually I said, okay, fine, I will join. And then when I did, of course, people were like 2 months ahead before I joined, but I just decided to do so and then continue my schooling there. And through that, here we are. Like, I'm sure we'll talk more about my journey through the school and all that. That is how I got to Ghana Telecom to pursue telecom engineering.
Wow. And that is really interesting. Really, really interesting. And to my viewers, Anne got a first class. So for her to switch from ophthalmology to telecommunications and still get a first class, you know that no matter the situation, she was determined. So Anne, please tell us, how did you manage to get a first class in a course that was like your second choice? How did you do it?
So, I mean, it was quite interesting. Of course, in everything I do, I always aim for excellence, right? And to me, first class was something that I was working towards. I was consciously and actively working towards. And also because let me mention that the Vodafone FESSP scholarship was also something that I was looking forward to. And when I got to GTUC, I remember Mr. Danny, who was in Student Affairs, mentioned that scholarship to me. And even though at that time I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil, I just thought to myself that no, I need something to focus on and to look forward to. So with that in mind, I started working right from the onset, right from level 100. Remember, I was about 2 months late also to join my class. So I had a lot to do to catch up. And so each time, in the evenings, going to study, forming study groups, but mostly just going over what I learned in class. I mean, luckily, it's not a very difficult thing for me. Once I grasped the understanding, it made it easier for me. And that helped me right from the onset. From level 100, I was already in the first class domain. So it made it easier to keep the the grades up in that first class, and even made me improve upon it, so that by my fourth year, with my project work and with all the other things, I was able to get the first class. And then I also paid attention to the courses that had a heavier weighting, because those were the more relevant courses, which fed into my degree. And so I had to make sure that those courses, I excelled in them. So that's what helped me. I'll say a few tips and tricks that helped me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I really want to know, were there more men than women in your course?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, the class we were about 150. We were about 150, and then we had like 15 of us being ladies.
Wow.
So it was around 10%.
Wow.
Being ladies, yes. So it was heavily male dominated.
Yes. Did that affect you in any way? Did that give you more confidence to work harder, or how did that affect you?
Yeah, frankly, I think that growing up, because we were four girls and one boy, my mom has this term. She says that we are Hebrew women, we are always hardworking. We push ourselves. So from the onset, it never was any intimidation to me. My dad will expect you to, go out, open the car bonnet, check all those things. The typical things that you say are boys' things.
Yeah.
My dad would just make sure we go through that. So it helped me and become more assertive. I wasn't intimidated at all. And actually, in third year, I ran for SRC president, and it
Whoa.
opened my eyes a lot
Wow.
because I faced a lot of opposition. I had the ideas and all that, but I faced a lot of opposition. Some guys telling me, how can we allow a woman to come and rule us? And
Wow.
very interesting statements, right? Propaganda, sexism, all those things. You definitely experience it. You think you're in school, but you actually experience it because it was politics. And that's why I said I vowed never to enter politics.
Oh, oh, Ghana politicians, you lost a very wonderful female because of this. Oh, well, it's true. Most of the time when women are talking about their experiences getting up the ladder, most people think that it's just we saying something, but then it's really real.
Yeah.
We are not exaggerating.
Yes.
It's really real.
Yeah.
I'm sad you had to experience that.
I mean, luckily since then, there has been a female SRC president in that school, which I was very proud of, and I think we've really come far as a country, as citizens, and as a community. So, but there's a lot more to do, because I mean, throughout work, and I'm sure as we go on in the conversation, I'll be able to share some other experiences that I've had. So yes.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that. From your engineering degree, BSc, you went on to do an MBA. Why? Why didn't you just pursue a master's in engineering?
Okay, so this particular one, in fact, I would say that I had been eyeing an MBA for a while. Before I got the MBA, I pursued a certification in project management. And I think that the different roles in my career also affected how or what educational background I wanted to pursue for my further, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I chose the MBA was because I wanted to be more rounded. I had the engineering background. I had done some field work. I've actually climbed poles to set up, telecom equipment. I've done all that. I've also been in an office. I've seen how the office worked. I had worked in finance, in a telecom industry, and in another industry. And so with all these experiences, I felt like having the MBA gave me a 360 view. I already had a technical background, and I wanted the business aspect, so that for strategic purposes, maybe in leadership, and going further in my career, I would have that business acumen as well. So that is the main reason why I went for an MBA. And that MBA was also a scholarship, actually. So it made it easier to look at all the different aspects, components, and what it would help me do. And then the last thing is that the focus of the MBA, it was a specialized MBA. It was in IT project management. So for me, it felt like, it was a perfect choice for me because I had the project management experience.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and I'm going to show you something else, and then let's see what you think about it. Are you seeing this?
Yes.
What were you doing here? What was happening?
Okay, that's great. Thank you for showing me this. This was just last year, actually. So I mentioned that I ventured into project management. So I worked with a company called Blue Town, which is an internet service provider, but the focus was more in rural areas and peri-urban areas.
Yeah.
And we had a partner called Siemens Stiftung. So you know about Siemens, right?
Yes.
Stiftung is foundation. So Siemens Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And because Siemens is a technology company, they have a focus on, STEM, TVET, vocational and technical skills. So this project, which I was a project manager for before I left the company, is called the Access STEM Project.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that by having educational content, STEM content, and reaching out to teachers who are in the vocational and technical schools and fields, they will be able to also share their knowledge to more students, and that means that they are able to impact the next generation of teachers. So these teachers, the focus was teachers in teacher training schools. So we're also looking at teacher trainees. And this project was to help these teacher trainees also learn more about STEM, how to teach STEM, how to relate to STEM, and then how to make the future generation excited about doing STEM courses so that it would help to build Ghana and Africa as a whole. So that was what the project is about.
Wow. Thanks for sharing. From your answer to the MBA, why the MBA? It sounds as if you had your life written out in front of you and everything was going to plan. Was it always like that?
In fact, it was really interesting because I have pivoted a lot in my career, and I have had to make bold decisions, and I've had to come out of my comfort zone. So even though it looks like it was a perfect arc, it really wasn't so, because I worked in a telecom industry. Of course, I did telecom engineering. I became a graduate trainee, so it helped me to rotate across different functions in one of Ghana's leading telecom companies at the time. Yes. And then from there, as I was working in the should I say the finance department, and then I saw a role saying finance and admin manager. At the time, I hadn't, I was just in my early stages of my career. So I saw the managerial role and I'm like, okay, why not? Let me just apply, right? Against all odds. Yeah. So I applied and went through a series of interviews, started with interviews, meeting the different staff members, doing assignments before all the way meeting the head of the NGO. And I actually got the role. I was there for 3 years.
Wow.
Yes. And it was a totally different thing than I knew before, because this was finance and accounting. And here I am with my engineering background, looking at balance sheets and all these things. I'm like, what is going on here? So
wait, I'll have to cut you. And was this right after the graduate trainee program at Vodafone?
Yes.
Wow. So how did you even manage to understand the sheet, the accounting, everything? Because you only had purely engineering background.
Yes. Yeah, so it took lots of hard work. Luckily, there was also someone I was working with, like a finance mentor, who would come in to check my work and then go back. So that's how the relationship was. But the day-to-day, I was solely responsible for that. And in fact, I had to learn a lot. I downloaded different kinds of software, and you also needed to make use of, should I say, limited resources, right? Because it was an NGO, we were always trying to raise money. So it's not like a big established company, you have 6 months for training. No, you have to be working whilst you're also learning. And it was a very pivotal point in my career. I must say that move alone, just taking that leap to switch careers, switch focus, switch everything, gave me the biggest view of life than I've ever experienced, because it was straight from entry level to managerial level. And I won't say it didn't come with challenges. It came with a lot of challenges, learning the role, learning the people, learning the different components as well. I had to be, meeting board members. It had to be meeting donors, the British High Commissioner, like various high level people, and you had to act the part, look the part, and make sure that you don't flop. So I think the lesson here is being bold, and I've seen being bold run across a lot of other female leaders that I've seen, Lucy Quist, and then the one who recently featured in the Microsoft marketing manager. Yes, she also has a tagline about having a bold journey. So being bold is really an important thing.
Wow. So we see, viewers, that the journey for her has not been all rosy and all easy, right? Is there one particular thing that you face that you can say, this was the challenge for me throughout your career?
One particular thing.
Yeah.
I think the most challenging part of my career was the bold decision I decided to take.
Yeah.
Because I felt like at the time I was just trying. I felt like I was just trying, right? I felt like maybe I wasn't the one for the job, because they're looking for a finance and admin manager. I didn't have finance background. I didn't have administration background. But it turned out that they were looking for an all-rounder. They're looking for someone who could, manage situations, do a lot of operations, day-to-day tasks, as well as take strategic decisions. And that expanded my thoughts. And I would I have my boss called my former boss, Ifwa Debi. She was also really, really great. She supported me a lot. And I think that having people ahead of you, having mentors, coaches, just someone ahead of you to help you carry along is also one very important thing that I would not put aside, because it really helped me even get confidence within myself. And from there, it made me realize that, hey, everybody has the opportunity to grow, right? And it made me even, apply for more roles, look out for other things that I wouldn't have typically done. I put myself out there, give speeches, represent the school or the organization in other places and meetings in high places. And that whole phase was very challenging for me. But once I, overcame that, it made me realize that the world was just at my fingertips.
Wow. Ann, thank you so much for joining us today. The conversation has been amazing. I have learned things about you that I didn't know before. So thank you so much. And I'm sure that our viewers, both male and female, are inspired by your story. So thank you so much for joining. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but we will definitely bring you back again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And I must say that I have also been admiring your journey, and I think you've done amazingly well. I know today is not about you, but I will tell your viewers that they should look out for you. They should look out for Gifty O Conversations. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, viewers, for joining us once again. We will see you some other time. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and click the notification bell to be notified of our next video. Until then, please make sure you have at least one good conversation this week.